So now that we have kind of worked together and I've kind of taught you as a group, now we're going to spend today actually you kind of working on your own and at your own pace. Okay. And I've got you two different assignments that you have to get done today. You've got one that looks like this, and you're going to have one that looks like this. But before we start that, if you have not finished this, I need you to finish this by yourself. You're no longer working with an individual. I need you to get the front and the back done. Okay. And then I need you to show that to me before you go on. Okay. Then when you've got that done, then you're going to let this video play, and I'm going to first explain to you what I want to see from this assignment right here. Okay. Okay. With that being said, so you're going to complete this page front and back, but as just a quick review, and I'm going to highlight some things, and you can feel free to underline them. Actually, I want you to. Um, I need you to remember, first of all, this that the distance from one short line on the ruler to the next is 1 millimeter. Okay. And this is a great example of showing you that. And remember that there are 10 millimeters in each centimeter. Okay. And let's do this. I'm going to lay these highlighters out, and I want you, instead of underline it, I actually want you to highlight it. Okay. And so if you have already underlined it, just go back and highlight it. But that way I know that you're actually following along. All right. So if I've highlighted it, it needs to be highlighted. Okay. So in order to measure the lines, it says first see how many centimeters long the line is, then count how many millimeter lines beyond that it reaches. So in this example, for it's got 2 centimeters, and then it goes past three spaces or three lines, and so it's 2 centimeters and 3 millimeters long, which is the same as 23 millimeters, because you know that for every 10 millimeters, we have a centimeter. And since there's two, that's 20. And if we add three, that's 23. And even more importantly, you have 2 centimeters and 3 millimeters. That's 2.3 centimeters. And I want you to write that off to the side. Because when you're done with this assignment, you're going to show it to me. And if you don't have this stuff written down, you're going to have to go back in the video and rewrite it down. Okay. So I want you to know that. So 2 centimeters plus 3 millimeters is actually 2.3 centimeters, because there's 10 in every centimeter, and we're dealing with the 10 spot right there. Okay. Same thing here. So this line goes to 4 centimeters, but it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on. So it goes to 4 centimeters plus 8 millimeters. If I multiply 4 times 10 and add 8, I'll get 48. Or more simply put, it's 4.8 centimeters long. And again, I want you to write that off to the side. And if you don't have that, I'm going to ask you to go back and do it again. This is just to ensure that you're actually following along. So for 1 through, well, it's section 1, but for examples A, all you're doing is measuring the lines and filling this in. I'm going to do 1 for you, and then I will do the rest because I want you to show. We're going to do it a special way. All right. So first thing you do here is decide how many centimeters long that it's reached. Well, it's reached at least 3, so you're going to pick a 3. Then you're going to count the number of lines past 3. It's gone. It looks like it's like 1, 2, 3, like 4 by mine. And if you're off by 1 or 2, I'm not going to say too much. So it's 4 millimeters past. Okay. If I take 3 times 10, that's 30, plus 4, that gives me 34. Okay. But what I also want you to do off the side is I want you to write this 3.4 centimeters. That way you can equate this with that. All right. Let's do one more example just so that you know exactly what I want. All right. So notice this goes to at least 7. It doesn't go past 8. Okay. So keep that in mind. That's already 70 millimeters. And it looks like it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 past also. So 7 times 10 plus 7 is a total of 77 millimeters, or 7.7 centimeters. And you should start to see a little pattern here. 3.4, 7.7, so on and so forth. Okay. So do these two examples all the way through C, E, and F, And then what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line that is 7.8 centimeters long. Yeah. 10.5 centimeters long. And I'm going to measure these to make sure. 14 millimeters. Well, if I divide that by 10, that gives me 1.4 centimeters long. 55, since there's 10 millimeters for every centimeter, if I change that into centimeters, rather than having to count like 55 of these each individual lines, 55 divided by 10 will give me 5.5 centimeters. And same thing right here. If I divide this by 10, in other words, I move the decimal place over one, I get 12.6 centimeters long. So all I want you to do with your pencil is literally draw these lines. I'll do one example for you. My pencil. All right. What I'd like you to do is to put a little line right here, your zero. That way I can start to measure it. And then go 7.8 centimeters out, which is just 2 in front of the 8. And then all I want you to do is take your ruler like this and draw a little line like that. That way I know exactly where to measure it. Okay? And when you turn this into me, or when you show this to me for credit, I'm going to measure these lines to make sure. Cool? And then write this at the top, 7.8 centimeters. All right? So A through F on there, A through E on here, come show me. Got it? Thanks.